Drunken Karen thought Buckingham Palace was her playground. She tried climbing a royal guardsman for the ultimate photo, but his silent reaction turned her stunt into a public spectacle. What happened next left her humiliated, the crowd roaring, and a royal horse stealing the show. But before we dive into this incredible story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. We share the untold stories, secrets, and traditions of the British Guards every day. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. It was a warm London morning, and Buckingham Palace stood resplendent under a soft, golden light. Guardsman Henry, tall and broad-shouldered, held his post with unshakable precision. His crimson uniform, polished to perfection, glimmered like a beacon of dignity against the backdrop of bustling tourists. The thick bearskin hat perched atop his head only enhanced his commanding aura, making him look like a sentinel carved from stone. Around him, the courtyard buzzed with activity. Tourists jostled for the perfect photo, their chatter blending into an orchestra of camera clicks and muffled laughter. Occasionally, someone would try to provoke the guards, waving, pulling faces, or shouting things like, "Bet you can't smile," only to be met with silence. For Guardsman Henry, this was just another day of enduring the world's most clueless provocateurs. And then she arrived, Karen, middle-aged, loud, and radiating the kind of overconfidence only alcohol and misplaced entitlement could provide. Her neon pink tank top clung tightly to her body, paired with unflattering denim shorts that seemed determined to defy the laws of tailoring. A Union Jack fanny pack completed the ensemble, screaming tourist cliché, with every bounce of her exaggerated swagger. In one hand, she clutched a half-empty can of lager like it was her birthright. Karen's face was flushed from a morning of questionable decisions, her voice slicing through the air like an unwelcome alarm clock. "All right, everyone, watch this," she bellowed, her thick American accent turning heads. She waved her can triumphantly, as if announcing her intent to conquer the palace itself. "I'm gonna climb on this guy's shoulders. It's gonna go viral." The crowd froze. A ripple of amused horror spread through the onlookers. Phones appeared in hands as quickly as popcorn at a bad movie. Karen's equally intoxicated friends hollered their encouragement. One of them, fumbling with a phone, shouted, "Go, Karen! This is your moment!" Guardsman Henry remained motionless, but inside his thoughts betrayed him. "Great, another drunk American. Stay calm, Henry. This will be over soon." Karen staggered toward him, her expression filled with the kind of determination you'd expect from someone attempting Olympic gymnastics, not public humiliation. "What's the matter, big guy? Cat got your tongue?" she slurred, poking at him with the air of someone who believed she was invincible. The crowd gasped, a mix of anticipation and disbelief hanging in the air. Phones were raised higher. Whispers swirled like a brewing storm. "Is she really going to do it? She's insane. Record this, quick." Karen leaned forward, wobbling slightly as she tried to grab hold of Henry's arm. But the guardsman stood firm, his stoicism unyielding. His silence, his sheer dignity, was a stark contrast to the chaos Karen embodied. It was as if the universe had drawn a line between order and absurdity, and Karen was determined to cross it. Karen wasn't the type to take no for an answer, especially when no one had explicitly told her no. In her mind, silence was consent, and Buckingham Palace was her personal stage. Shoving her half-empty lager can into her friend's hand with all the ceremony of handing over a royal scepter, she cracked her knuckles. "All right, folks, here we go," she bellowed, crouching slightly like an Olympic sprinter preparing for the race of her life. Henry, standing tall and resolute, remained a picture of discipline. His expression didn't flicker, but inside, his thoughts were less serene. Remain silent. Do not engage. Resist the urge to laugh. Tourists will embarrass themselves if you just wait. Karen charged forward, wobbling slightly on her unsteady legs. Her neon-pink tank top and Union Jack fanny pack caught the sunlight, a beacon of bad decisions. She lunged for Henry's arm, missing by a mile and nearly toppling over. A collective gasp rose from the crowd, followed by stifled laughter. Phones were raised higher. This was content gold. Unfazed, Karen muttered, "Gotta get a better grip," as if she were attempting rock climbing instead of public humiliation. She steadied herself and lunged again, this time managing to grab the edge of Henry's bearskin hat. The crowd erupted into laughter as Karen, a vision of determination and poor judgment, dangled off the stoic guardsman like a toddler clinging to a jungled gym. Henry's posture didn't waver, but his internal monologue kicked into overdrive. If she pulls this hat off, she's meeting the ground faster than her logger. With surprising enthusiasm, Karen began pulling herself up, her leg awkwardly hooking over Henry's shoulder. Almost there, she slurred triumphantly, as if scaling the guardsman was her life's greatest achievement. Then, with the precision of a chess master making a decisive move, Henry took one calculated step forward. The shift was subtle but devastating. Karen's grip faltered and she tumbled backward, arms flailing, before landing in an unceremonious heap on the pavement. The crowd roared with laughter, phones capturing every humiliating detail. Karen's friends howled, one shouting, "You're a legend!" Henry, ever the professional, stood firm, his silence speaking louder than words. Another day, another fool, he thought. Karen wasn't done. Embarrassment simply didn't register in her world. Or perhaps it was drowned out by the lagger coursing through her system, with the confidence of someone who had never faced the consequences of their actions. She sprang to her feet, brushing gravel off her neon-pink tank top. Her Union Jack fanny pack jostled as she struck a defiant pose. "All right, big guy, you win round one, but this ain't over," she declared, pointing a wobbly finger at Guardsman Henry as if challenging him to a rematch. Her friends erupted into drunken cheers, hooting and hollering as if they were ringside at a wrestling match. One of them yelled, "Karen, you've got this," while shakily holding up their phone to record her next move. The crowd had thickened by now, drawn in by the spectacle. Whispers and laughter spread through the growing group. A few savvy onlookers started placing mock bets on how long Karen would last before security intervened. "10 quid says she gets kicked out in 5 minutes, one muttered. "Nah, look at her. She's got another round in her," another replied, chuckling. Karen, meanwhile, decided she needed a new tactic. Eyeing the low metal railing that separated the public from the guards, she nodded to herself as if formulating a genius plan. "Here comes round 2, she shouted, climbing unsteadily onto the rail. Henry remained as stoic as ever, his face a mask of unshakable calm. Inside, though, his thoughts were less patient. This woman is one bad decision away from being a meme. Balancing precariously, Karen prepared to launch herself at the guardsman like a circus performer gone rogue. "This is gonna be epic," she yelled. But before she could make her move, a loud, piercing neigh broke through the commotion. From behind Henry, his horse reared its head, letting out a commanding whinny that echoed through the courtyard. Startled, Karen flailed midair, losing her footing. She landed face first into the neatly raked gravel with a muffled thud. Pebbles scattered everywhere as the crowd burst into laughter, their cheers now fully directed at the horse. Henry's posture remained unbroken, but the corners of his mouth twitched ever so slightly. The horse deserves a medal, he thought. As Karen sat up, dazed and covered in dust, security finally arrived. A uniformed officer approached, trying not to laugh as he offered her a hand. "Ma'am, I think you've had enough excitement for one day," he said diplomatically. Her friends, still filming, cheered her on. "You're a legend, Karen," one shouted, nearly dropping their phone from laughing too hard. Karen, despite her humiliation, waved proudly to the crowd. "All for the gram," she slurred, though her enthusiasm was waning. She let the officer escort her away, her neon-pink tank top now sporting a noticeable rip from her fall. The crowd gradually dispersed, their laughter and whispered recounts of the event filling the air. Guardsman Henry remained motionless, save for a subtle adjustment to his hat. Inside, he allowed himself a small moment of satisfaction. Another one down. Long live the Queen. As the palace gates closed for the day, Henry resumed his stoic watch, ready for whatever absurdity tomorrow might bring. If you enjoyed this story, leave a like and let us know in the comments which guard tradition you'd like us to cover next. See you in the next video.